The hills of West Virginia hold a story etched in coal dust and blood. It's a story of ordinary people fighting for their lives, their families, and their future. From 1912 to 1921, the coal fields became a battleground. Miners clashed with coal barons in a struggle for basic human rights. This is the story of the West Virginia Coal Wars. The miners faced a harsh reality. They toiled in dangerous conditions, risking their lives daily for meager wages. They lived under the oppressive control of the coal companies, trapped in company towns with little hope for a better life. The air they breathed was thick with coal dust, and their dreams were choked by the lack of opportunity. The desire for change ignited a fire in their hearts. Miners yearned for fair treatment, a living wage, and the right to organize. They wanted a voice, a say in their own destiny. The coal companies, however, clung fiercely to their power, determined to crush any sign of dissent. This clash of wills, of desperation against greed, set the stage for a decade of conflict. The West Virginia Coal Wars were about more than just labor disputes. They were a fight for human dignity, a testament to the unyielding spirit of those who dared to challenge the powerful. The Paint Creek-Cabin Creek strike of 1912 was a warning shot, a tremor that foreshadowed the earthquake to come. It began in Kanawha County, a place where the coal dust ran as deep as the miners' resentment. The spark was the refusal of coal operators to recognize the United Mine Workers of America, UMWA. Miners laid down their tools and walked out, demanding recognition for their union, better pay, and improved working conditions. They were met with fierce resistance. The coal companies brought in armed guards, the Baldwin Felts detectives, to break the strike. These hired guns terrorized the miners and their families, evicting them from their homes and enforcing the will of the coal barons. Tent colonies sprang up along the creek beds, providing shelter for evicted families. Life in these camps was harsh, marked by poverty, hunger, and the constant fear of violence. Yet, the miners held firm, their resolve fueled by a shared sense of injustice. The Paint Creek-Cabin Creek strike raged for over a year. It was a brutal introduction to the realities of the coal wars, a conflict where lives were lost, families were torn apart, and the very soul of a community was tested. The Matawan Massacre of 1920 was a turning point, a bloody confrontation that transformed the coal wars from a labor dispute into an armed rebellion. It began with the arrival of the Baldwin Felts detectives in the small mining town of Matawan. The detectives, acting on behalf of the Stone Mountain Coal Company, came to evict miners and their families who had joined the UMWA. They were met with resistance from the town's people, led by their courageous police chief, Sid Hatfield. Hatfield, a former miner himself, stood with his people against the intimidation tactics of the coal company. On May 19, 1920, a shootout erupted in the streets of Matawan. When the smoke cleared, 10 men lay dead, including 7 detectives, 2 miners, and the mayor of Matawan. The massacre sent shockwaves through the coal fields, igniting a firestorm of anger and resentment. Sid Hatfield became a folk hero, a symbol of resistance against the tyranny of the coal companies. The Matawan Massacre was a stark reminder of the high stakes of the struggle, a bloody testament to the lengths to which both sides were willing to go. Section 4. The Battle of Blair Mountain, a desperate stand for freedom. The Battle of Blair Mountain in 1921 was the culmination of the Coal Wars, a desperate and bloody struggle for the very soul of the West Virginia coal fields. It was the largest armed uprising in American labor history, a testament to the miners' unwavering determination to fight for their rights. Thousands of miners, armed with whatever weapons they could find, marched on Logan County to free their comrades who had been imprisoned for daring to join the UMWA. They were met with fierce resistance from the Logan County Sheriff, Don Chaffin, and his army of deputies, coal company guards, and volunteers. For 5 days in late August and early September 1921, the hills of Logan County echoed with the sounds of gunfire. The miners, though outgunned and outnumbered, fought with courage and tenacity. They believed in their cause, in the fundamental right to organize and fight for a better life. The Battle of Blair Mountain ended with the arrival of federal troops. Faced with the overwhelming might of the U.S. Army, the miners were forced to lay down their arms. Though they did not achieve a decisive victory on the battlefield, their struggle resonated far beyond the hills of West Virginia. Section 5. Faces of the Struggle, Mother Jones, Sid Hatfield, and Don Chafin. The West Virginia Coal Wars were filled with remarkable individuals who rose to prominence during this tumultuous period. Their stories, etched in courage, defiance, and unwavering belief, offer a glimpse into the hearts and minds of those who lived through those turbulent times. Mother Jones, a fiery labor organizer, became a beacon of hope for the miners. She traveled tirelessly throughout the coal fields, rallying the miners and their families, giving voice to their struggles, and challenging the power of the coal companies. Her unwavering commitment to the cause of labor earned her the nickname, the Miner's Angel. Sid Hatfield, the police chief who stood up to the Baldwin Felts detectives in Matawan, became a folk hero, a symbol of resistance against oppression. His willingness to face down the coal company's hired guns, to stand with his people even in the face of danger, cemented his place in West Virginia lore. Don Chafin, the Logan County sheriff who opposed the miners, represented the unyielding power of the coal companies. He was a staunch defender of the status quo, willing to use any means necessary to maintain order and crush dissent. Section 6. The Fight for Human Dignity. The West Virginia Coal Wars were not just about labor rights, they were a fight for human dignity. The miners and their families lived in squalid conditions, under the thumb of the coal companies that controlled every aspect of their lives. They faced not only economic exploitation, but also physical danger in the mines. The struggle was about more than wages and working hours. It was about being treated as human beings deserving of respect and fairness. The miners' fight was a powerful statement against the dehumanizing forces of unchecked industrial capitalism. Their courage and resilience in the face of such overwhelming odds remain an enduring testament to the human spirit's desire for justice and dignity. Section 7. Echoes of Resistance. The legacy of the West Virginia Coal Wars continues to resonate today. The miners' struggle for justice and dignity has inspired countless movements for workers' rights across the globe. Their fight highlighted the importance of solidarity and collective action in the face of oppression. The echoes of their resistance can be heard in every protest for fair wages, safe working conditions, and the right to organize. The story of the West Virginia Coal Wars serves as a powerful reminder that the fight for justice is never truly over, and that the spirit of resistance lives on in the hearts of those who dare to stand up against injustice.